When will these people learn to take good care of themselves and don't rub it on us? When will they learn to just keep short without echoing some irritating, dirty things on the media? How can someone just literally sit as a woman that sweats in her armpits, sweat between her thighs, and so on and so forth, coming here to tell you that, oh, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. If this is the first time seeing it, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit belongs to original creators of every clips and stitches we use in our today's episode. With that being said, let's watch this video first from beginning to the end before I say what I have to say, because if I say it now, it's gonna be a bomb. Jesus. Let's get right into this video, guys. Jesus.
Day 9 of showering every day until I somehow enjoy it. I think y'all are onto something. Because I showered last night before going to my boyfriend's house, and this morning I went to Pilates, and normally I would not shower after Pilates because I don't really sweat, and you know, I don't have a lot of time, whatever, and I would just put dry shampoo in as I did and wash my face and move on with my life. Today I'm like, what do you mean I'm not going to shower before work? Suddenly I'm like thinking, didn't do it yet, thinking about a 2 shower a day, being a 2 shower a day girl, because you start normalizing it, which is, I realized maybe what happened to me with the showering, or the non-showering, is that I started to normalize non-showering, and I didn't really feel disgusting because it was the way I felt every day. And now that I've been clean, I'm like, should I do this twice? I'm starting to wonder if y'all have tricked me, trained me, Pavlovian dog style. Oh, and also my item for today, I'm not going to shower this morning because I don't have time, but I am going to do it tonight. But my item for today is I got myself a waterproof speaker.
Ago, this white lady came on this app and was like, oh my God, I think the reason why Black people clean themselves or shower more or have like more rules around hygiene is because they've been told for years that they are dirty and that their skin is dirty. And white people just never had that cultural experience. And so that's why we don't bathe. Okay. I think that conversation is so funny because I read this book called hold on, let me get it. I read this book and it is about the Spanish conquest of Mexico from the indigenous perspective. And one thing that was passed down through history, like word of mouth, these stories have been passed down, is that the Spanish smelled horrible. They literally smelt revolting. I tried to look for it. I can't find the exact quote that was like said by an indigenous person. Through years of the Spanish trying to like destroy the history and the stories of indigenous people, one of the things that stayed and has been continuously told is how horrible they smell. And they had to teach them how to bathe. Oh my God. And so yeah, she is right. Hygiene is cultural. Every other indigenous group did though, because the same thing can be found in like African history as well, where they're like, they came and they smelled horrible. They didn't understand how our plumbing systems work. And that's also why Europeans had so many freaking diseases. Your culture is just to be dirty and evil.
You need to shower every day. Okay, you do. And that shower needs to include soap that goes all over your body, including your butt, your bits, and your pits. And then you got to rinse it off. Okay, you do. I cannot believe that in the year of Beyonce 2024, I am arguing with grown adults on the internet about whether you need to shower with soap every day. If you are that concerned about drying your skin out, put on lotion when you get out of the shower. If you have a neurodivergence or mental illness that makes hygiene difficult, I empathize with you. I have autism, ADHD, anxiety, and depression. But just because something is more difficult or less accessible for some people, it does not mean that it is not a necessity. Just because you are neurodivergent or have a mental illness does not mean that your bodily functions cease. You don't get mysteriously less stinky when you don't shower because you are neurodivergent or mentally ill. Having a condition that makes it more difficult for you to clean yourself than the average person is nothing to be ashamed of, but it also doesn't mean that it's okay to stop cleaning yourself. What it means is that it's okay to seek accessibility and assistance in hygiene. That can include things like getting a shower chair, getting a scrubber with a handle so that you can reach all over your body, getting a soap or a washcloth that doesn't irritate your texture issues or your scent issues. It can mean changing the temperature of the shower. It can mean showering while you're playing your favorite music. It can mean asking somebody to come sit in the bathroom with you and keep you company if you need to. It might mean getting an accountability buddy. It could mean getting wipes that are meant for your butt, your bits, and your pits. if you are unable to shower on a day for some reason. But regardless of your neurodivergence, your mental illness, your activity level, etc., your goal should be to shower once a day with soap. Once again, there is no shame in not having known something, but there is shame in getting defensive about your right to remain ignorant. So I am telling you, if you did not grow up knowing this, it's okay. But as an adult or as a teen, you need to be showering daily with soap. And once again, if you are worried about drying out your skin, use lotion. Getting worried about being dry is not a reason to not shower. And for everybody in the comments on my recent viral video asking, why is this addressed to white people? Guess what color every single person in my comments telling me it's okay to shower every 3 days is? Take a wild guess. No single person of color has come in my comments to try to ardently defend showering twice a week. Sometimes it's okay to admit that you're the problem. White people who are showering twice a week, you're the problem. Go take a bath.
I'm an Indian guy, and I went to go hang out with some friends recently. We're just hanging out, and then 2 minutes later, another friend showed up, and he smelled really bad. And he was a white guy, but he still smelled really bad. And I was like, oh no, I feel like I'm gonna get blamed for this. I put on a lot of deodorant, I showered, I soaped up the walls. I feel like somehow this is still gonna end up on me. Just watching my friends look at me, look back at each other, look at me, and be like, bro, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I have a hunch that I know where this is coming from. And I just have to be there like, no, it's not me. How could it be me? It's like, you ever played a game of Mafia? That's what it was like. It was like I was playing Mafia. And I was like, it's not me. It can't be me. And they're like, that's exactly what the Mafia would say. It's a very Mafia-like behavior to just deny. And I'm like, remember those 2 minutes, though, before he showed up? Remember when it smelled all peachy and rosy? And they're like, yeah, it can't be him. He can't be the Mafia. He's a white guy. Everyone knows the Mafia is all.
I'm sorry, y'all are getting on here asking the general public why they wash their ass every single day. Instead of asking yourself, why don't you want to? Point blank period. It is not about why is everybody showering every single day. The real question is, why don't you want to? Why do you, as a fully grown, fully able-bodied adult, with the privilege of having access to hot water and all the hygiene tools in the world, why do you truly have an aversion to bathing your ass daily?
My fellow white people, stop saying you don't take showers online. Some of us take showers. Like, this is disgusting. What the fuck? Like, y'all are fucking weird. Wash yourselves. Damn, is it that fucking hard? And I'm not talking about getting in a tub of water. Like, fucking, I'm disappointed. And I don't even know what I expected either. Get in the shower, grab a loofah, put some soap on it, and clean yourselves. Like, damn, is it that fucking hard? It's hygiene.
Watch this video of this lady that said her husband about to get fired from his job because he been there for 4 months and they told him 4 times already he need to improve his hygiene. They said that boy need to get in some water. And before you ask, don't even ask me no stupid questions. We know what the fuck they are, for real. Come on now. She said that his boss done sent him to Walmart with his personal credit card, told him, buy some deodorant, please. Buy some new clothes, some new work shirts, some new work pants, something. You got skid marks. God damn. It look like soft white underbelly in your goddamn pants. I know he stink. If you stink that bad, well, your job is like, man, you do a good job with them wrenches. You a good worker, but God damn, I can't work. And then they in the comments, all these women talking about some, girl, your life would be so much better if you leave that man. I think you should leave that man. If you leave him, your life would get so much. You think he smell much better? You think he smell that much better than her? Come on now, they live together. Clearly she probably stink too. Maybe not as bad as him, but let's just be for real. A rose can go through concrete. A rose ain't growing through a manure pile. They live in the same establishment. Like, they both stink. Wherever there's vultures, there's a dump. I know for a fact that lady do not smell like roses and daisies and dandelions and chamomile. No. She don't smell like summer's eve. Hell no. That lady take her drawers off, I know for a fact it probably smell like goddamn Jeffrey Dahmer house in there. Smell like Jeffrey Dahmer house in them drawers.
I just saw a video about a lady talking about day 9 of taking a shower every day until she enjoys it. And she goes on to say that she normally don't take a shower after Pilates class. Like, why are you coming on here telling us that? We didn't ask you if you take a shower every day. You're nasty. If you want to be nasty on your own. There's no reason to come on TikTok and tell us how nasty you are. We don't even know you. Now we know that you're nasty, that you're super nasty. And, like, that's in my brain, that you don't take showers after Pilates. You stink.
Recently, I've been seeing videos saying that white people don't know how to clean themselves, and it's definitely true, but I think it's worse than some of y'all realize. So growing up, I really wasn't told, like, anything. There were definitely times I only showered, like, once a month. And, like, now I know you're supposed to wash your bed sheets, like, once a month. I used to only wash them, like, once a year at best. My friends would get jealous whenever I told them occasionally I would get paid for doing the dishes. But at that time, I didn't know that it was abnormal to leave your dishes in your sink for, like, a month, to the point that there would be sometimes maggots and mold growing at the bottom. One time I was washing a coffee cup that had mold in it, and whenever I, like, broke the top sill of the mold, smoke came out. It was like a fucking bomb. We also had dogs, and they would shit and piss on the floor, and we didn't clean it up for, like, at least a week. Other people I knew were, like, way worse about it. There's someone in particular, and anytime I would go to her house, I would have to hold back a cough every time I went inside because the whole house reeked of piss, and the floor was literally slippery because she didn't clean up her dog's piss and shit. So the whole floor just had a layer of piss. I was also staying the night at a friend's house one time, and she let her bunny shit all over her carpet in her bedroom, and I wasn't, like, gonna be able to sleep on the bed with her, so I was gonna have to sleep on the ground, and all she gave me was one blanket, meaning she thought I was going to sleep on top of the shit, and, like, put the blanket over me. Obviously, I didn't. I just put the blanket over the floor and just didn't have a blanket. So I wouldn't say that's, like, the norm for people around here. I would say it's usually just a little not as extreme. I would say in general, most people's houses are, like, kind of cluttered, definitely a bit nasty. Usually there's a roach infestation. And I live in the deep south, so it doesn't matter how clean you keep your house, you're gonna get roaches in it, but you have to keep it clean for them not to infest it. I literally have a friend who refuses to put pepper on her food because she said it just reminds her of roach droppings too much. A house that most of y'all watching this would consider just, like, average, around here people would consider that, like, a clean freak. I started teaching myself how to clean because my bathroom had a roach infestation and I am afraid of roaches. And I just noticed how much better I felt at one of my friends' houses, who my family considered a clean freak. Oh, also, some people's houses have fleas, so, like, you'll be sitting on their couch or something, and you'll get really itchy, and then all of a sudden you see a fucking flea hopping on you. My dad said whenever he was in a fraternity, it had a horrible roach infestation, to the point that if you just, like, left a plate of food out on the table, and, you know, just walked a little bit away from it, you would see roaches crawling out of everywhere to go get that plate of food. I never understood how people can just live with them, because I've been at so many people's houses, and we'll just be watching TV, and then there'll be, like, a roach or two crawling across the floor, and I see that they see them, and they just don't care. But yeah, I don't know if this is, like, a southern thing, or just a country thing. I really don't know why this is so common where I live, but
this cleanliness discourse go down. And let me just say this, as a person who looks like me and has been listening to other people who look like me, and it's really women, it's not men, brag about never washing their hair and how long they can go without bathing. And I've been like, are you all out of your minds? Like, I would tell people that I shower every day, which this isn't a brag, and that I wash my hair every day, and they'd be like, that's bad for your hair. That's terrible. I work out and I get real sweaty, so yeah, I'm gonna wash my hair and let the chips fall where they may. But as much as I don't think that, you know, it's appropriate to put burdens on, you know, people of color and whatever else to tell people who look like me how to act right, at the same time, I can't help but be grateful that this is a burden that women of color have started to take on. Because, guys, I did try to tell them that it's really gross to not wash your hair more than like once every week, and to work out and not shower and brag about, you know, doing a sponge bath. You're not in the hospital. You can stand up, wash yourself.
These white folks are in the comments and making posts justifying why normal people don't need to bathe every day. And the way they quickly want to normalize it, it's just normal. Baby, it's normal for you. Got the nerve to be citing Harvard studies to let the rest of the world know that it's not normal to bathe, wash daily. Child, Harvard ain't the expert on black folks and our hygiene. And then Karen comes out. You all are just being mean. When I tell y'all, I love being black. I'm obsessed with it because you'll never convince me that we don't need to bathe every day. That's why Kendrick Lamar said, they not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Are y'all bathing with this here? Putting it in the bathtub. Putting this into the bathtub and putting your body inside of the bathtub. You can't do that. I mop my floors with this.
We absolutely do. We absolutely have beautiful hot Dettol baths. We do. It's within my culture. I'm Caribbean, and let me tell you something. We be bathing in Dettol, okay? We be bathing in Dettol. It's something I've grown up with, something I've always known. It's something that my mother's always known, and it's just been passed down from the islands, I think. Yeah, I bath with Dettol, and I'm proud. Okay, I'm proud to be bathing with my Dettol. And I know a lot of people think it's weird. Like, I think it's weird that we don't wash chicken and, you know, other poultries. But there we go. Try it. And you know what? It doesn't aggravate the vagina area. You think it might, but it doesn't. It doesn't throw off your pH. So give it a go. I suggest a capful in a nice hot bath.
A woman got on the internet and said that she doesn't shower every day. And by that information alone, you can tell who I'm talking about. Now, the comments, rightfully so, were cooking her shit up like it was a Labor Day cookout. What took me for a loop is that she came back and doubled down and said hygiene was a cultural thing. She was saying that back during slavery, black people were always told they were dirty. That's why it's always been in our nature to, you know, clean twice, you know, just because of that stigma. Never mind the fact that I'm pretty sure Asian people and Latin people know to shower every fucking day. Let's not leave the matter to good hygiene conversation. Shorty, if you believe that good hygiene is a cultural thing, I implore you, please appropriate our culture. Please, it's okay. Look, it's all right. It's okay. Just go ahead and do it. I promise you, we will not judge you. We will let this piece of cultural appropriation slide. Just get in that fucking shower, caca.
Hygiene is definitely cultural. It's a cultural thing, and it's a cultural issue. So me, I have properties that people live in, or they short-term lease in or long-term lease in, and I can tell you the most cleanest people that I've came across. You think what you're going to think, but I'm going to tell you just from my experience. I've had different ethnicities live in certain places or short-term live in certain places that I have, okay? I could say the most cleanest people who take pride in their appearance and how they treat things that are nice, in their how just wherever they're living, like they take care of it, is black people. It's black people. Unless it's wealthy white people. Okay, who are older. Then I've came across people who are wealthy staying at like short-term rentals. They know how to care about things properly, but black people be extremely clean. They take so much pride in their appearance and how they treat things. Like even like some of the black, I hate saying black on here. It sounds so weird, but some of the people that I've worked with, they're extremely clean with even personal items. Like I remember I had one lady and her man, they stayed somewhere and they had, she had, I don't know how her hair was, but she said she laid her towels on the pillows at one of my short-term properties, so that she wouldn't stain up the white pillows. And when she had her monthly, she laid her towel, her own, y'all, she bought her own towel. She didn't use the white towels to stain them with her monthly. So she put the towel down for her monthly. And y'all, I've had people who are not black bleed up furniture. And that sounds disgusting, but it's just like, it is. Like, why would somebody do that? That's trifling. Why would you bleed up a bed or a couch? You know you're on your period. But I say this to say that a lot of people are not clean, and a lot of Black people are really, really clean. We take really good pride in our...
I genuinely think that we do not understand. I look a hot mess. I just left the gym. I think we don't understand how disgusting people are. Like, honestly, I'm very lucky. Like, my husband is a very clean person. I am a very clean person. I'm very hyper aware of, like, wanting to be clean. Like, taking a shower every night because I just sweat all day. Like, I don't know. That's just like a very slim example. I just heard of this story about this girl who was needing advice because her husband refused to use toilet paper whenever he would go to the bathroom. And he had this like habit of like picking dookie crumbs out of his crack and just like flinging them across the house, in the sheets, on the floor. Excuse me, what? I mean, I knew that people, like, there were definitely people out there that like hygiene. You know, it's not like their number one thing. It's not their like top priority. I knew that. But like, excuse me? You are literally digging in your crack, picking out your butt crumbs and throwing them across the house, putting them in the sheets. Just someone explain this to me. Is this something like, oh, they just weren't taught as a child? Is this something like, I genuinely, I mean, I could see, like, if you're, like, mentally unstable, maybe, like, hygiene is not number one. Like, I mean, I kind of can, I don't know. I don't understand. Why do you not have the desire to be clean, to feel clean, to smell clean? Like, it blows my mind, but I don't know. What is the psychology behind this? I've never heard of someone that has a habit of picking their crack. Okay, like biting your nails, like, you know, doing like things like that. That's a habit. What are we doing? What is happening? I am genuinely confused.
I am not a girly that showers every single day. At most, I might shower 2 to 3 times a week, and so going 2 weeks without a shower wasn't like a bad thing. And this shouldn't come as a shock to anyone because you guys pretty much met us while we lived off grid and on the school bus, and so we didn't have access to like running water to take a shower every single day. And actually living on the bus, it wasn't very often that we came across water where we could shower. We really had to plan that into our schedule and into our travel plans. Now, before we even started living on the bus, I really wasn't one to shower every single day, and I will tell you why. The biggest reason is the chemicals in the water. I feel like it really messes with my skin. I have sensitive skin, and it really pulls the moisture out of it, causing my skin to be dry. And even though I know I can put the moisture back in using oils and lotions, sometimes those products further irritate my skin. While I don't battle eczema, I do battle sometimes these dry, bumpy patches that occur when I use too many products. And all the same, my skin lets me know when it's time for me to go ahead and shower because it also gets kind of irritated and rashy and really sensitive. And after having kids, I noticed things like sunlight and hot water really increasing the sensitivity of my skin to the point where sometimes I can't even sleep. It's just so uncomfortable. So yeah, showering and keeping my skin clean is a fine balance, and it's more than one way to keep those other areas clean, baby. Soap and water works in the sink just as well. You just need a good old washcloth. Now, the other reasons I delayed taking a shower was mostly just due to the fact we were moving, like packing and really moving. There were a couple of days in there where I was really barely even sleeping, and so taking a shower was not a priority. If you guys recall, we had to be out of the house by June 6th, and I really was set on meeting that deadline. Anyway, yeah, I hope that answers you guys' questions.
Okay, let's recap for everyone who's like semi-new here or hasn't seen my explanation videos on why I don't shower every day. The base reason, like the easiest reason I can give you, is I don't like showering. And that tends to be a relatively like unpopular reason to give. People don't want to accept it for what it is. I don't like showering. That's the basic answer. However, I will provide a little more information as to why I don't like showering, but just keep in mind that's the big reason. Okay, so why don't I like showering? I'm going to put put it back on the TISM on this one. I'm gonna put it on the autism. Mainly like the sensory processing part and like the task avoidance part of the TISM. Showering is just uncomfortable. It's not a pleasant experience. I don't enjoy it because I go from being like a regular temperature to having to like undress, and now I'm cold, and now I'm in the shower and I'm having to regulate because it's like, oh, I'm cold, but I gotta stand all the way under the water. Okay, now I'm hot, and then I turn the water off and now I'm freezing. Not only am I freezing, I'm also wet, and the wet hair, and then trying to put the clothes on while you're still wet, and you know how it like sticks to you a little bit? It often makes me mad. I tend to end my showers irritated because it's just so uncomfortable, the entire process. I'll also throw in like a little bit of task avoidance in there. Like really, it's the sensory part for me, and it's not painful. I do want to point out, for some people, the sensory like overload of a shower is literally painful. It's not painful for me. I can push through it, but why every day am I gonna start or end my day just like mad? It's not worth it to me. The task avoidance piece is just, if I don't like doing things I don't want to do. And I think that's a very universal experience, is like, if I don't like it, I don't want to do it. But my brain will take that to like, I won't. Very stubborn. Very stubborn. So I've had to like con my brain into how to make showering less of like a demand, because I'll dread it. It will turn into like such a cognitive overload because I'll be thinking about it. So now that's also why I shower at the gym, because if I connect it to another thing that I don't really like doing, I don't really like working out, but it's like together. So it's like two birds, one stone. Go to the gym, work out, shower when you're done. And that has been so much better for my mood around showering ever since I started doing that. But again, to wrap it all up, all of that just like amounts to, I don't like it. And there's other ways of keeping myself clean and hygienic that don't involve me having to go through the entire process of a shower, and then just being super irritated and like mad and just like in a bad mood after, because the whole process is just 0 out of 10. 0 stars is what I would give the process of showering.
This discourse talking about how white people don't know how to wash themselves is really fascinating to me, and so I want to share my experience about how I actually learned how to wash and what it looked like in my white supremacist Mormon household growing up. Now, I always had washcloths available to me. They were always under the sink. It wasn't really enforced or taught. It was always in the bathtub. And it seemed like there was just kind of like one in there, and then we'd change it every week. I was never touching it. I don't know if my siblings were touching it. I know when we were younger, we'd play with it in the tub, but when it comes to washing, the grossest thing that still grosses me out to this day thinking about it is how we would share bathwater. I had 4 siblings. We'd all share bathwater. When we were younger, it was either like 2 and 2 would go, or like after we'd each go in the last person's bathwater. The grossest thing was my older sister. We're 22 months apart. She sometimes would shower with my younger sister. And when she was like 9 or 10 years old, our youngest sister came to us and told us that, hey, there's yellow stuff in the bathwater. And my older sister tooted. And we're like, what? We ended up getting out of my older sister that she was peeing in the bathwater. Now, mind you, me and her are 22 months apart. We shared bathwater my entire childhood. I always thought we were clean until 2005 when I moved to Atlanta. White people don't talk about cleanliness. White people don't talk about cleaning themselves. White people don't talk about lotion. White people don't talk about their hair nearly to the scale that the Black community does. I went there and I was dumbfounded by how much they held each other accountable to their appearances. Nails, hair, everything pristine all the time. And my mom, I felt like, was very much like that growing up, but it felt like this was like up like 10 notches. So that's kind of where I learned most of the things you should be doing, like moisturizing after you shower. I learned that in Atlanta.
Ah, guys, welcome back. Welcome back, guys. It is alarming, it is frustrating, it is deafening. It is, I don't know the language to use. I really don't know the language to use. Because help me that as a woman, especially as a woman that sweats every single time, even as I'm filming this video, I'm feeling some bits of sweat despite the fact that all my environment is well chill. And just let it make sense to me that after this particular shot and everything, I will not go and have shower and refresh myself and make my skin look more glowing and more clean before going to bed. Just let it make sense to me that I will literally not have my bath 2 times in a day. Like, how do I even survive it? How do people survive it? It is disgusting. It is not even what should be discussed online. She literally started showering day 9 or showering every day. So it simply means you don't shower. And this is what they claim, and that is one of the most annoying things that actually led me to do this particular video. They claim that people like us that do shower every day is because we have been tagged dirty, is because we do the major work. Why then they don't do the? I don't get. For God's sake. God. Who is their boyfriend? Anyway, why am I even asking? Why am I even asking? Because obviously they will be doing the same thing. They'll be doing the same thing. But I love the fact that some of these farm-colored women are now coming out to tell them that go shower, go have a bath, go and scrub yourself, go and get a sponge, clean up your dirty skin, and don't make it look like these people are the real problem or these people are tagged being dirty. You are the problem here, and the problem is go and make yourself smell nice. How can you go to the gym? After the gym, you don't want to shower. How can you go out after all of the drivings and workouts? You are back in the house. The only time for you to be able to refresh your memories and yourself and get yourself back or keep your body hydrated is when you actually shower. Shower. It's not making sense. And that is why when people start doing their noses like this, especially when they are passing around them, they start feeling offensive. How can you not normalize baiting? And you don't normalize it is not a problem. You come online here to bring out your grossy attitude, character that we're not even let me know what you think in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit belongs to original creators of every clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And guys, I said just be corrected, just for educational purposes, because if I say what is in my mind the way it is, I don't know. I actually don't know how to like express. I don't know. Bye, guys. I love you guys. Mwah.